Are you tired of waiting for sparks to fly on your dating app? Do you dream of running through airports to deliver an out-of-breath, unplanned monologue? Then stop doom scrolling and start listening to Meet Cute Rom-Coms. Feel-good love stories that take you from chance encounter to grand romantic gesture in just 15 minutes. We're bringing rom-coms back. Get a brand new Meet Cute series on the first Tuesday of every month, with new episodes twice a week. Fall in love with Meet Cute Rom-Coms, wherever you find your podcasts.
Is this where we kiss?
Welcome to Girls Gone Hallmark, a Hallmark review podcast. I'm Megan, and I'm a longtime Hallmark movie fan.
I'm Wendy. I'm your former Hallmark hater.
Today, we're discussing Love at the Thanksgiving Day Parade, which originally aired on November 1st, 2012, as part of our fan favorite fall movie review series. We would love for you to connect with us outside of the podcast on Instagram. We're Megan and Wendy and Girls Gone Hallmark.
Jump into our Facebook group, Girls Gone Hallmark. We got a great, fun, engaged group over there.
And the Facebook group is going to explode today.
Oh, 100%.
Because joining us on today's episode, we have Dan and Bran from Deck the Hallmark. Thank you so much for being here.
I'm so excited.
My goodness.
Hello.
We've been trying to make this work a long time, and you guys couldn't meet our writer. We asked for Fiji water to be sent to the studio, and there was a lot of words exchanged that I won't repeat. But listen, I feel like we can let bygones be bygones, and we can really make it happen today.
I'm trying to join your Facebook group. The first thing is no hate speech or bullying.
So you're out.
I'm out. Be
language on
kind,
a regular
respect
basis.
everyone's privacy.
Bully us in the office. I've been trying
no
to stop
promotions or spam. Okay, all right, I'm in.
Oh, he's in.
I did it. I'll let
prove you.
bygones be bygones. I won't bully anybody this time.
We're excited to be here.
We are.
I want to be very clear. All joking aside, you guys are wonderful, and we're super excited to be here because I do feel like we're kindred spirits. I feel like the way that we watch these movies lines up, and that you can't say that about all Hallmark viewers.
As Wendy mentioned in our intro, she's our reformed Hallmark hater. You and Dan.
You get it.
Well, can you, Wendy? What happened? How'd you end up falling for these movies?
She dragged me kicking and screaming.
Let's hit the origin story
what Bran
right.
did.
Yeah, okay, so that's what I did, but I was just like hoping there was some secret like formula that I can, I don't know, magic
Just
trick.
waterboarded her with Hallmark movies.
Got it.
And reformed is a loose term, but I try to play nice to the listeners. You know
I
how
would
it is.
say the bridge that I've crossed is I used to hate them. Now I love to hate them. So now I do, like, I know a lot of the people that are in them now, which does change my perspective. If you listen to like the first season of our show, you'll hear me just being like, this guy, he's a bad actor, and this girl, like, and now I don't do that because I've got a little bit more maturity about me, and I realize that these are people, but I also still think a lot of these movies are just god awful, and so that's where we end up.
Truth.
Yeah.
Well, you guys put out 5 episodes a week. And I have a real quick question about your process, because it's not just Hallmark movies. You do Lifetime. You're in the middle of a Fast and Furious review series.
Yep.
Are you like watching a movie every night? Do you have a movie marathon one day a week? How are you? Because it's a lot to watch and review that many movies every week.
Yeah, we don't actually watch them.
We just give a,
We just kind of wing it.
I've been watching nothing but K-dramas. I watch only Korean television. I don't watch anything
else.
The thing about our life is it is very, like, you can't come, like, my wife works in healthcare. Like, I cannot go home and be like, what a day today. Because we watch movies for a living. So our Mondays are pretty packed around here. We usually watch 2 movies and an episode of a TV show by lunchtime. And sometimes sometimes we have to watch during lunch. So sometimes we have to order that pizza and just keep watching and sometimes we send producer Aaron to go get us lunch. So it's tough around here. We watch a lot on Monday, and then the rest of the week we usually watch one or two things throughout the week, and we watch nothing on the nights or the weekends. So it is a legitimate.
Okay, so you're watching in studio.
We have a watch room.
We watch it together. We hold hands.
Recliners and a surround sound system, and
we hold hands.
Stop. We
hold hands.
Held hands before, but we don't,
like why you're trying to make this.
We don't hold hands. You're making it weird. We don't hold hands constantly. But occasionally, if Bran thinks something's really great and he doesn't get it, he'll reach over and he'll grab my arm or something. That is true. But we have a mini fridge filled with beverages, mostly non-alcoholic, and we spend the day watching these movies, and then we record the episodes, and that we're in our studio, which is just across the hall. So we have a little office space. It is, if you're going to listen, there's a lot of ways to watch these movies. I think most people watch them while doing another task. We like dissect them, and you guys are in that same boat. And so for us, it's the job. The hardest part of my week every week is watching When Calls the Heart. That is the hardest part of my work week. So when my wife dealt with an infant who is premature, I can't go home and be like, well, we had to watch When It Calls the Heart today.
I think Elizabeth's going back to Nathan, and I don't know.
People are going crazy.
What I'm going to do.
Bill Avery owns the restaurant, but he eats at the bar. I don't understand. We can't do that. So, yeah, it's pretty great. We're living the dream around here, and we count it joy every single day because we can't believe we get to do it. So we don't have to stay up late or watch them. We just watch them during the day. We have a schedule that we put together, and we just show up at 9 and start watching movies.
We hold hands.
Nice. No. So look, as we're recording this, the countdown to Christmas lineup has just dropped. Do you feel like you're gearing up for a marathon going into this season?
Now, you guys don't watch them all, right?
We do not watch them all.
The day the schedule's released is one of my favorite days of the year. And I hate these movies, but there's something about it's like pulling for a bad baseball team. At the beginning of the baseball season, if you know your team's going to be bad, there's still this weird hope in the air, where you're like, maybe if everything falls into place, this is the year. And I think that's the schedule release day is kind of that day for me. We have an actual marathon to start off the Christmas season where we watch movies for 24 straight hours.
Live stream it.
And the holiday season is a blur typically. Right. Because we are watching during that time of year. We'll watch the first two movies on Monday and record the episodes, and then we'll watch the next two movies on Wednesday and record those episodes, and we'll release Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then we cover a Lifetime movie every week, a Netflix movie every week, and a movie from another network typically every week. So it's crazy, but it's fun. We look forward to it all year. I love it. I do love Christmas, even if I don't like these movies, and so it is a fun time, even if it does seem insurmountable right now.
It's the best. I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I mean, in addition to being our former Hallmark hater, Wendy's also a holiday hater. She doesn't like Christmas. So for me, this is this is my best time of the year across the board. So I'm all in. I think we can all agree the bar has been raised on Hallmark the past couple years. I like the whole season, so I'm all in on that too.
Wendy, when you say you're a holiday hater, are you don't celebrate this until it's time, or are you just screw Christmas and the horse it rode in on?
A little of both, actually. When Starbucks comes out with their Christmas cups,
do I know it? This guy reminds me 800 times before it's out.
I get on Twitter and bitch about it, and it's that kind of stuff. And then Christmas time, it's just so many obligations, so many things to do. It's just a lot for me. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Yeah, you just take that up with baby Jesus and
that's right.
Go from there.
Yeah, that's you. You got to deal with infant Jesus during Christmas, and you don't want any part of that. I'm a big after Thanksgiving. I love Christmas. From the day after Thanksgiving to Christmas, I think it's fantastic. But when you're starting movies 10 days before Halloween, this is what we're doing now. That is that's something. It's a different world.
Is there one movie in this lineup that you're actually genuinely excited about, looking forward to?
Oh, Christmas at the Biltmore. We got to go up and hang out with Chris and Joy for a day, which was fun. That was a blast. We live
because we're close to Biltmore,
less than an hour from the Biltmore. You go up every year on a field trip when you're a kid, when you live here, and you're bored to tears. At least I was. And then you go up now, and it's very, very nice and beautiful. But this is a movie that has Palaha and Bethany Joy Lynn's, which for my money, maybe the two best on the network. Joy Lynn's definitely. I think she gets it. Like she gets the bit of what it means to be in one of these movies. And I think she's great. Chris is amazing. And so you get that. It's a time travel movie.
Yeah.
And it's an old Hollywood movie.
Yeah.
And so I think, and they put a lot more money into it. It's 2.5 times the budget of a normal Hallmark movie. So a lot of high hopes for Christmas at the Biltmore.
It's hard for me to get past it. I'm just so excited about it. There's so many this year. I'm always excited to see the fact that the first weekend Michael Rady is going to be there's exciting. I love that guy. Yeah. I get more excited about seeing the people that we like.
Sure.
And then if the movie's a fun one, and last year, Ghost of Christmas Always was a surprise one because we didn't really know the people, but the plot's really good. So I love that there's a mix. We have the people that we love, but we're also getting some weird and wacky plots this year as well. So all 40. Final answer. 40.
No, there's one called the Christmas Mural, and I fell asleep just reading the title. They're not all winners. It's clear they're trying things. We love for them to take big swings. I think that's the thing Hallmark was scared to do for about a decade in a lot of ways, not just with who's represented on the network, but also what kind of plots they have. And that's why that joke became such an easy joke to tell, which is every Hallmark movie's the same. You know, the big city girl goes to the small town and her high school sweetheart is chopping wood and blah, blah, blah. Well, this now they're taking there's a Santa Summit movie where all these fake Santas go and drink beer down in New York and they find a real Santa. Luke McFarlane's playing Santa's son. There's a magic pen in one of these movies. There's a
Ryan
movie
Paevey's an astrophysicist.
He runs a planetarium.
He works at the planetarium.
Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah. I'm not a fan of these movies, but if it's gonna be bad, take a big swing. Let's see how bad we can make it,
Yeah. Are you ready to share your first impressions of?
No, I need to read the synopsis, baby.
Oh, okay.
All right, ready?
I am.
Love at the Thanksgiving Day Parade. An eager Thanksgiving parade coordinator is shocked when a wealthy consultant is hired to analyze its finances. Faced with teaching him that the parade means so much more to her than money, she finds herself falling for him. Dun, dun, dun.
And now,
that's it.
Are you ready to share your first impressions, gentlemen?
I'm ready. Yep. I'm ready to share it.
Let's hear it.
I had never seen this one. It was before my time. I started getting into these movies around 2015, 2016. And I loved it. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I thought both the leads were just dynamite. And we've seen a lot of Autumn Reeser. She's never been better than she was in this movie. Just so much fun. I loved her character, and it just works for me. Is it a Christmas movie?
No,
no, but it's good for Thanksgiving, and there's not enough of those movies. It's not enough Thanksgiving movies. Really, really liked it. I would watch this one again in a heartbeat. Just so much happy feels. I mean, I think the ending, the misunderstanding, and the ending back up with him and being like, no, I'm done. I'm going and got that stuff. It got a little bit murky there towards the end. But overall, really solid. Really liked it.
Dan?
Yeah, I appreciate the fact, ladies, that you have put this in your autumn fall season, right? Have you done that?
So the fall throwback movies that we're watching are all listener recommended movies.
Yeah.
And so it's funny because when I opened up the movie and it's kind of a Christmassy poster, I was like, oh, but we're in fall. But I think it's solidly fall.
I think I was on a podcast called Screen Drafts, and they did the drafting of the bet. We drafted the best Hallmark Christmas movies of all time, and there was an argument before we started recording of, is this a Christmas movie? And it was allowed to be played because it aired during Countdown to Christmas. It's not a Christmas movie. This movie is directed by my favorite Hallmark director, Ron Oliver. He's great, and he's been directing for them for 15 years, although isn't directing for them currently. This is a fine movie. I don't particularly love it. and I don't particularly have a disdain for it. I will say the two leads who we've seen a bunch, Reeser and Kupo, have never been better, nor have they looked better. They both are super attractive in this movie. And their chemistry makes up for how offended I was about, parades in Chicago and pizza and how it was portrayed in this movie. I think that there's some...
Did you bring your list of Reeser movies from hottest to ugliest?
I did not.
And Kupo?
Nor did I bring my Kupo.
Okay. I know you have those for every actor.
Yeah. For every actor, I judge the movie based upon attractiveness.
Right.
And I think that's the best way to do it, of course.
Of course.
No, I said, we were talking, Antonio Kupo was in a movie last week called Guiding Emily, and all of us were talking about how did this dude get hotter? He looked amazing. I'm like, this guy, you put a beard on this guy, and all of a sudden it was like, holy moly. And in this movie, I think he's more attractive, but that movie, somehow. And so I'm not I'm just saying in this movie, there's something about these two that, oh my goodness. And so,
oh my gosh,
I think, Ron Oliver is always looking for excuses to put women in vintage clothing always. And he does so often in this movie. So yeah, it's fine. I don't get the classic status that it gets. But I wasn't as offended as I am by a lot of these movies. So yeah, it's fine.
So I famously hate movies where we start off in one relationship and they end up in another, and they're falling in love while still actively in that relationship. And one of the things that it really bothers me is when the Hallmark family friendly crowd comes for us. Why don't you care that they're actively cheating on this person while they're having an emotional affair? So that preface being said, Antonio Kupo is making me turn my back on everything I believe in regarding movies that start in one relationship and ends in another.
He would make you leave your husband?
I mean, no. But I rooted for his relationship, and I was not bothered by the whale guy.
I wouldn't leave him, but I get it.
Yeah, I understand why someone would. But also, I want to be fair. In this movie, she does temporarily break up with dude before she gets hot and heavy with Kupo. So there is a little bit more of a distinction here than It Was Always You, where Tyler Hines is just Tyler Hines and Aaron Krakow should know better, right? That's not what's going on here. She does break up with him halfway through the movie.
Agree.
So, and then she gets back together with him, and that's when it gets murky, I think. Yeah.
All right, what's your first impression, Wendy?
Well, for me, and we're going to get into it a little bit later, but the math ain't mathin' in this movie.
Ooh.
And I'm with
foreshadowing.
I'm with Dan on a lot of points that you made here. It's okay. Yeah, that's what I gotta say.
All right, let's hear some specific things we liked about this movie. We talked in general. What were some moments that you liked?
I think there's the karaoke scene is really good in this movie. It is it's weird that the karaoke scene is in a karaoke bar where they clearly the reaction is they're gonna have some pushback, which is fantastic. But this is a karaoke bar where they just start playing a song and first one to grab the mic wins, I guess is how that works in this scene, which I've never really been to one of those, but it's my literal nightmare now. But the fact that they let Hallmark just from 2013 to 20 didn't let a Hallmark leading lady give the singing performance that Autumn Reeser gives in this movie. Is it weird that she gets throw up drunk off of one sip of champagne? Yes. Yes, it is. But this scene where she's singing and making him sing with her and doing this back and forth and he looks uncomfortable, that is a scene that you don't get to see in Hallmark movies that often. And so I did like that scene, but their back and forth banter is pretty solid. Clearly we differ here on this though.
Not 100%. I loved the back and forth moment. Yeah. It's the robot. It's the robot in that.
Oh yeah.
I was like, it hurt me to watch, but I agree. I love that they just let her not be perfect in this moment. It's very My Best Friend's Wedding, Cameron Diaz singing. Yeah. The charm is in that she's terrible. So I mostly agree.
I had secondhand embarrassment for her, a lot of that, but I love the end when she was putting the mic in his face and he hated it. I love that part.
Oh, I love secondhand embarrassment. So That scene worked for me 100%. And I love karaoke. I love bad karaoke. That was just a bingo bango for me. I love that. I just like parades in general. I love a Thanksgiving Day parade. Maybe we should do a podcast about it. But the end of this movie works for I love a parade. The fact that we are ending on a parade works. And dadgummit is one of my bucket list items, being on the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade float, like a float.
What, on the float?
On the float. Yeah, it is.
Does Hallmark have a float?
They have in the past.
We got to judge our town's parade and announce it and live stream it last year, and it was the best time.
It was one of my favorite things we've ever done.
It was so much fun. And we got to be the judges, but also we were live streaming the whole thing and be like, and next is this float, blah, blah, blah. And we had the best time with it. It was a lot of fun.
Well, I didn't. Look, I apparently am very New York centric. I'm like, what do you mean there's another Thanksgiving Day parade? Are they making up this parade? It fully exists.
Oh, does it?
Fully exists.
This is a real thing.
Yeah, it's a real. I looked it up the first time I watched it too. Yeah.
And I also looked up, they did originally start airing it on television in 2007. I'm like, that's made up. What? 2007? But that's the truth too. Oh.
Yeah, look at that. Nice. Learning something every day.
How about that? Where does it air? Does it air on WGN? Is that
WGN is correct. Good job.
Thank you, everybody. I told you I love parades. I know what channel every parade airs on.
I haven't watched WGN since Sammy Sosa was in the home run chase with God.
Who was it?
What was his name?
Who was it?
Thank you. I got a thumbs up from Brian off screen there. That's great.
He won. Did he win?
No, the other guy. The guy hit 70. I don't remember. What's
in
right?
comments? Just leave the name of who beat Sammy Sosa.
Right. Somebody did.
Someone did.
Wendy, what do you like about this movie?
Jose Canseco. No, that's not it.
I love that people are screaming at their phones right now.
Sweating, guys. Man. Jeez Louise. What did I like about this movie? Oh, I like that it felt old-timey, but it took place in current day.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the way that Ron Oliver shot it. I don't know. I mean, obviously the costuming, but something made it gave it this vintage feel to me, where when I started it, I was like, what day is this taking place in?
I also think they might be using the same blow up turkey since the start of the parade. That turkey looks real vintage, and I think I think that helps. I loved Baby Autumn Reeser in this movie, and I think they leaned a little too hard into her being super rigid about the parade, especially because Henry got to be laid back cool guy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, classic.
But mostly I thought she was delightful, just her joy for the parade and the way she really leans into the way she lives her life. And there's a cute moment where she slides across the room in her desk chair. I always have liked Autumn Reeser, but I think she was super charming here.
She reminded me a lot of her character on the OC, a show that I know you didn't watch. No. But it's kind of, I guess this is 2012. I don't remember when that show ended, but she was kind of uptight on that show too.
Okay.
Do you think that that Autumn Reeser has been over the last decade that she's been in these movies? I feel like they've restrained her. If she can give that performance and be that out of the box and quirky and weird and different and charming, and she's always charming in her movies, but I feel like her movies since then have become more and more restrained and in the box. And I don't know why that is, but it happens with actors occasionally. Even Palaha, early in Palaha's days on the network, he's doing accents and voices, and then they've just slowly made him just kind of play the same role. And then he told me in this new one, he's doing a voice, which is going to be a lot of fun, the Biltmore one. But I feel like some of that was what Hallmark was doing during the time period, because I feel like this is a different Autumn Reeser than we get the rest of the way. And she's fine, but she's never like this again.
Yeah, it's almost like Hallmark's look, we've got Ashley Williams. That's all the quirky we can handle. Right. Everyone just else just get in your box, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And I love Ashley Williams. That's not a knock.
She's wonderful. She's wonderful.
Not a knock.
Yeah.
I also love the line really quickly when she's arguing with the whale guy and she's mad that he's not proposing and he says, "You're being unreasonable." And she says, "No, I'm being honest." And I thought that was a home run moment for me.
Yeah.
Why? Because
she pushed back on his, she didn't just let him tell her how she was feeling.
Which is kind of unusual for 2012. I'm surprised that
I think a lot of this movie stands out actually as a 2012 Hallmark movie.
Got it.
Yeah, I would agree with that statement.
I think it's a little racier.
Oh my gosh, I have a note about that. I have a note about the sex.
It's like Hallmark
the
spicy.
The assistant?
Yes.
Yeah.
I like to party.
Like leaning suggestively on the desk. I thought, whoa, keep your clothes on.
Yeah, I'm a prude. I hated that. I'm like, give me my 2013 Hallmark. This is too much.
If everyone could act like they've never shared a room with someone, that'd be great.
Yeah.
All right. Did we wish for things as we were watching this movie? What did we wish for? What did we want?
I wish for an accurate depiction of Chicago pizza. This is an abomination that we see on screen. Chicagoans across the country should be mortified that this is the pizza that someone chose to represent what Chicago deep dish pizza looks like. I'm from South Carolina. I'm not from Chicago, but I've been. They do tavern pizza, which is like cheese on top, toppings underneath, thin crust, and they do deep dish, and they're both phenomenal. And this was neither. This was someone threw up in a pie crust. And it was not good. It wasn't pizza, and it wasn't Chicago, and it was real bad. It was real bad, and I hated it for everyone involved.
I appreciate that perspective because I don't know anything about Chicago style pizza except one time I'm dairy free, which is a super boring fact about me, and it's highly annoying to go out to dinner with me, but we were at a Chicago style pizza place for a party, and I tried to order a pizza without cheese, and they refused to make it because it wouldn't taste right.
Wow.
They're like, get out of here.
I was like,
Chicago right now.
Aware that it's not as good without the cheese. I don't think I'm doing something here. Bran, what'd you wish for?
Yeah, I mean, seeing Kupo in a Santa costume made me wish for a Hallmark Hunks calendar. Not a weird one. Listen, keep your clothes on. Just in various garbs that work throughout the year. October, I like basically all of the notes of autumn wardrobe, just like all of it. And I think that would make me happy. Just various, Thanksgiving, maybe put palaha like in a turkey. I don't know. I'm spitballing. I'm just spitballing, but that is something that I thought of while I watched this. And now I'm sharing it and wishing that I didn't.
Well, look, I am in my mind, my brain is churning, and I'm just saying I need multiple December options because if we don't get John Brotherton in his sexy Santa costume from last year's Lights, Camera, Christmas, I'm going to riot. So
yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah, that's accurate. Oh, listen to me rave about him last year.
Oh my gosh,
you thought I had stock in John.
You did. You bought low.
I bought really low.
Well,
look, great.
Wendy, what'd you wish for?
Well, you mentioned this earlier. Emily's so uptight and Henry is warm and charming. And okay, we get it. Women are terrible and men save the day.
Yeah, of course.
So over it. Sorry.
Yeah. But in 2012, that was a new idea. No one had ever done it before. Sorry. I tried to get through
women had any value.
I know. God. Stone Ages.
The good old days. Am I right?
Are you ready to talk? Did you see that?
I am.
All right, let's hear from you guys first before I dominate this conversation.
Dan. Go ahead.
You go.
Okay. It's so weird that I get to do this before you. I never get to do this before you. You know where a great place to go in November in Chicago when you're throwing up drunk is? It's on the top of a skyscraper outside. Listen, when you've had too much to drink and your stomach is sick, go somewhere really high.
It's a balmy
where the temperature
November in Chicago
straight through you. Like -10 wind chill up there probably, and they sleep up there.
I said the same thing. I go, isn't it cold in Chicago? We live in California. I'm like, isn't it cold in Chicago in November?
It's literally called the Windy City. I don't. It's 3 days before a parade. Your stomach is queasy from drinking. Let's take you to absurd heights with freezing temperatures, and let's just wait it out. That was tough. That was a tough one for me. This guy's going to the idea that any place has 4 Michelin stars is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. And I have to assume that was in there on purpose because that doesn't exist. But the only thing that was like a did you see that for me aside from that was Antonio, Autumn Reeser's character gets proposed to at this restaurant, or doesn't get proposed to. She thinks she's being proposed to, and then he doesn't propose. And she is like, how dare you? I'm not going on this boat with you. And she storms out. And when she storms out, who is outside the restaurant but Antonio Cupo in a limousine? Now, is he stalking her? Probably. Probably stalking her. And his excuse for being there is, hey, I just ordered me a little takeout. That's it. You know how when you order takeout and you're rich enough to have a limousine, you ride with your limo driver down to go get that takeout? Yeah. You know how it goes. Like, hey, I know you're going to get that takeout for me, but I just want a limo ride. Is there any way you could take me down the street? He's totally stalking her. And that was the big one for me.
Yeah, that's fair. I only had a couple that stuck out to me. One right away, and I think I've never owned a cat. Well, I have when I was a kid, but I didn't buy the food for the cat. That was my parents. I do have dogs, though. I do have dogs, though, and anytime I'm like switching dog food for one reason or another, it's a process. Like I gotta have some leftover of the old one, get the new one, do like a 75-25, 50-50, and then eventually you switch them over. With cats, can you just go willy-nilly from one food to the next? Can you do that? Just buy one?
Cats can. I think their constitution, they can just eat whatever. I think so. I think so.
Do either of you have cats? Can you attest to this?
I
like
have
cats. It just doesn't seem.
You're right.
Safe.
You're right.
Cat wants to mix it up a little bit.
The last thing you want is a cat with gastrointestinal distress.
You sure don't.
Yeah.
You sure don't. That's not what I want at all.
Yeah.
The only other thing I had was I cannot believe this whale guy's dating Autumn Reeser.
Yeah.
It was just such a Cupo over there, and
must have billions of dollars.
Yeah, in
billions of
in whale stock. Like there's whale guy and then there's Cupo. I don't know if there's ever been a bigger chasm between the love interest in a movie. A wild turn of events there.
Yeah, he's not handsome and he's not nice.
He's an idiot. He's such a bozo.
And he's into whales.
He's a whale guy. He's a whale guy.
He only takes video calls down by the harbor.
Yeah.
Like this is where he takes
a whale guy.
Yeah. Whale dude.
That is what he is.
Oh man.
Yeah.
All right, Wendy.
Okay, I have a few. When Autumn Reeser is shopping she's at the grocery store. She's looking at the freezer case. It's all party-sized tubs of ice cream.
Yeah.
There's one lonely box of Amy's frozen burritos in this freezer, which slap. They're delicious, but I was like, is that product placement? That would be so bizarre, wouldn't it?
Okay. But also on that case, it says Rocky Road in a big sign, and the ice cream she pulls out is very clearly vanilla based. That's not Rocky Road.
I know.
Come on. Yeah, be better. Know your ice cream, for sure. Know your ice cream.
Well,
but that Amy's makes a lot of dairy-free stuff. Maybe that was for you. Maybe they were just reminding you.
Well, in that same scene too, when they're checking out and Antonio Cupo is buying ice cream as well, you can see in his bag he also has a pineapple. And what is the dude doing with pineapple and ice cream in a hotel? Yeah. I don't understand how that works.
His chauffeur is going to cut it.
We don't kink shame on Deck the Hallmark.
Okay.
Maybe you guys run a different podcast, but
we'll tell you guys about it later.
Yeah,
it's wild.
2 gallons of ice cream and a pineapple.
It's a different kind of calendar now.
Gastrointestinal distress. My goodness. Also, in that same scene, she buys 3 party-sized tubs of ice cream and 9 billion cans of cat food and leaves with 2 grocery bags. Where is it all?
No,
and she's like, I'm like, it's not in there. I don't know why you're pretending it's heavy because there's nothing in those bags. Okay.
No way. No, that was a big one.
Was Cheesecake Factory coming in hot with the product placement?
Yes, 100%. But also, she opens the cheesecake. They all reach in with their hands. What monster
is grabbing cheesecake with their bare hands? Disgusting.
Get a fork.
And she did spring for getting them that classic Chicago cheesecake from the local establishment, the Cheesecake Factory, which nothing shows off Chicago like the California-based Cheesecake Factory. Just grab it with your hands. Get in here, gang.
Gross.
It's disgusting.
Look, Wendy and I have teenage children. Do you want to know what you don't want is a kiss cam at a high school sports game?
Oh my
Oh,
God.
God.
Asking for 900
No.
levels of suspension. No.
It was a different time.
2012 was a different time.
2012.
Men were saving women. It was crazy out there.
People could sexually harass their classmates at any moment.
That's right.
Look, my husband watched this movie with us, and he's probably a bigger Hallmark fan than any of us in this room, and is in the moment in the parade when Antonio and Autumn share their kiss. He pulls his beard down, and my husband, his gem from the movie, I'm going to bleep this, but is, don't take your beard off during the parade. Santa cannot expose himself.
I know. And all the children would see.
He also left the room, and as Antonio's like, I'm so in love with you, he shouts, no, you're not.
Say that there, man.
You can't take your Santa beard off. That's a big deal. Yeah. That's a big no-no.
Okay, here's my biggest problem with this entire movie. So Emily wears vintage clothing because it's to memorialize her mother's death, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but did her mom die in the 50s? I don't understand how this is working. Autumn Reeser is like in her maybe early 40s. Okay.
Maybe 30.
Okay,
She was probably born in the 80s, let's say, in this movie.
So wouldn't the mom be like in mom jeans, like not in a pillbox hat? I don't get it.
Yeah, and I went back to rewatch that scene, and they make no mention of like, my mom loved vintage clothes, just my dad gave all her stuff away. So
yeah. My Bran had a great thought here, and it wasn't true, but the movie would have been better if the Allie Liebert character, who we've not mentioned yet, and she's
fantastic.
Allie Liebert as a sidekick in these movies is pure gold every time. What did you say? It would have said, what if vintage stuff?
Yeah, what for no reason? What if Allie Liebert is actually a ghost and it's her mom?
Ooh.
I like it.
See?
Right.
See?
Thanks.
Yeah.
I will say about once every 5 movies, I assume someone's a ghost. True. And very rarely does it work out, but occasionally it does.
Tell me you've seen the Jen Lilly Spirit of Christmas.
Oh God, have we? We've reviewed it. Yeah.
A true classic.
That is something. That's one of the best horror movies I've ever seen.
Wendy's never seen it. I tell her that she needs to add that to the top of her list.
Oh yeah.
As a hate watch.
It's just something real special. You just have to watch it to understand.
It's an experience.
It's an event.
Yeah.
All right. What are we giving this movie out of 5 stars?
I've not done this before. And is this out of 5 stars, like for a movie making quality, would watch again? Or is this relative to other Hallmark movies?
To the best Hallmark movie you've ever seen is 5 stars.
Is a 5.
Yes.
Okay. 3 stars.
Okay.
Yeah. 3 out of 5. Just over halfway.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
That's halfway.
It's not. 3 out of 5.
I'm going to go 4. I'm going to go 4.
Whoa.
I really, really like this one.
I'm a 3.5.
A 3.75.
Whoa, that's like Star Search over here.
Wow. 3 3/4.
3 3/4.
Couldn't round it up.
I like that.
All right. We have a quick segment to close out this episode with our guests. And this isn't the first guest episode of this season that's going to air, but it's the first one we're recording. So get ready. This is called Gone Hallmark. It's a quick series of rapid fire questions. Most of them are like,
I love a rapid fire.
Choose one or the other. And then we're going to put you on the spot at the end. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Bad Boy or Boy Next Door?
Boy Next Door. Boy Next Door.
Oh.
Did I say Boy Next Door?
You did.
Raccoons are next door, and they're Boy Next Door. Boy Next Door? Boy Next Door.
I will go with Boy Next Door as well.
If you know this, most bad boys in movies, they commit crimes. Like, I don't know. At some point, like, you just want something legal. Boy Next Door. Boy Next Door.
The way
What's wrong with you?
I can't say Boy Next Door. I can't say it. I'm going to go with the Boy Next Door.
I gotta be honest, this is like really great for me because this is usually flips. So this is really
This is one of your episodes, and one of you couldn't say Brad Cravoy. You were just like, Brad, Krevoy?
Always me.
it's the way home or ride?
Oh, the way home.
Gosh. How dare you? That's even worth a question.
Poor McMurray family. How about fake dating or enemies to lovers?
Fake
Fake
dating.
dating.
Yes.
Yeah. Fake relationship for sure.
All right, coming in hot. Another Wedding Veil trilogy, yay or nay?
No. I literally.
We know we're getting it. It's coming. It just does too well for them not to keep going until we all
Every
die.
time they're like, Kevin, could you go harder in the accent? It's ridiculous.
The bit, though, where Lacey calls him on it is really the best thing that Hallmark's ever done. Okay.
Yeah.
Digital snow or faux leaves?
I think when digital snow is done right, it's better. You're going to go with the leaves.
No, I would agree with that. I would agree that you can't. I've seen a lot of good fakes now, and Snow always works for me more than least.
Let's go mysteries. Hannah Swenson or Curious Caterer?
Curious Caterer.
What's Curious Caterer?
It's Tom and Goldie.
Oh, yeah, the new one. Yeah, Curious Caterer, for sure. Yeah. We've not seen all the Hannah Swensons. We've only seen 2 of them, and I wasn't crazy about either one.
Mystery 101, Gone Too Soon or It Was Time?
Gone Too Soon.
This is tough because the cliffhanger would make you lend itself to the fact that it has gone too soon because they didn't answer that question. And on that front, I agree. But I would say that no mystery series did a better job of being a mystery series than that movie, and they were in love before that cliffhanger. So without the cliffhanger, I would say great ending point.
I was really worried because, those Mystery 101 fans are tough.
They're crazy.
Like, they're going to come for you. And so that's a good answer.
Yeah.
All right. In a movie, cute kids or cute dogs?
Cute dogs. And here's why. And I have 7-year-old boys that are the most adorable. They're my pride and joy, my treasure, but they don't have to act. And the thing about kid actors is you can't make fun of them. And you also can't praise them unless you want to lie. And so the dogs they're great. I'm here for the dogs are wonderful. Occasionally you'll get a great kid actor. Like Barry Peters it does a good job. The kid who's Baby Jack and When Calls the Heart is fun. Yeah. But by and large, it's tougher for me.
By and large, I say dogs, but a really great kid performance can steal the show in a way that like dogs can't. Even though dogs do steal a lot of shows in a good way.
A notorious kid hater.
I hate all the kids in all these movies. Sorry.
In a movie, Christmas tree lighting or cookie decorating?
Christmas tree lighting.
And finally, we're going to put you on the spot. Name a supporting Hallmark actor or actress who deserves a leading role.
Oh, this is easy because we've already talked about it 100 times. Maddie Finocchio.
Yeah.
For the love of everything good and decent. Maddie. Listen, Maddie, if the strike wasn't happening, Maddie Finocchio would have already been on our podcast because we would not stop till we get him on the show. This guy in Love Hard on Netflix, he's hysterical. His range is unbelievable, and he deserves to be a lead in one of these movies. He's great. He's just fantastic. He was really good in that movie where they make the clay dude comes to life.
Yeah.
What's the name of that movie?
Real Life.
We watched
what
it.
Did say? Made for love?
Yeah.
Made for each other?
Something like that.
Made for each other. That sounds right. Yeah. Finocchio's the number one answer on the board.
100% for us, too. We fell in love with Maddie Finocchio. We worked with Up TV years ago. We did a live pre-show for their show Date My Dad, which nobody knows existed. And Maddie Finocchio had a long-running role in that show. And when he started showing up in our Hallmark movies, we're like, give this man a lead. He probably thinks we're stalking him because we talk about it so much, but we just want the best.
We love him.
Well, look,
easy.
There's not a single listener to this podcast who doesn't know who you guys are, but tell everybody where they can find you after this episode.
You can watch our show on Philo, which is where you can also watch the movies. So watch the movie and then watch our show, or you can listen wherever you want to listen to podcasts. You can find the list of those places, deckthehallmark.com.
And on Instagram, you are at Hallmark Podcast.
At Hallmark Podcast.
At Hallmark Podcast.
That's real sneaky.
We did score that handle.
Real
5.5
smart, guys.
years ago.
Real smart.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt the SEO. I'll say that much.
It doesn't.
Doesn't hurt the SEO. But also, Megan and Wendy, you guys are great, and you're hilarious, and your chemistry is wonderful, and your show's great, and we're so thrilled to be here.
Well,
so
we're going to have you on every week because you say such nice things.
Yeah,
so
really.
thank you for taking the time to be here. We really appreciate it. And thank you for listening to this episode of Girls Gone Hallmark. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.